Hi, my name is Christina D. Hart. My guest today is #1 New York Times bestselling author and relationship success expert, Kevin Trudeau. He claims that there is one major reason why you struggle with romantic relationships. His newest program is called The Relationship Processes: How to Effortlessly Have the Relationship of Your Dreams. Kevin, thanks for being my guest.
Glad to be here, Christina.
What problems do people have when it comes to romantic relationships?
Well, I think everybody knows the problems, but maybe they're not that fully aware of them. So when a person wants to get into a romantic relationship, the first thing is they don't have one. So they always say, how come I can't meet someone? So they seem to struggle with actually even meeting someone to be able to go on a date. Even with dating apps, they have a hard time meeting someone. Next, if they do meet somebody, it's always the wrong person, right?
Yes,
There was
that's
no
true.
connection, they're a jerk, they're this, they're that. And it's interesting that when they meet someone that's not a good person or not the right person for them, I should say, they seem to repeat that over and over again. I seem to always kind of go with the same type of guy, or I seem to always go out with the same type of women. I seem to attract the same person in my life over and over again. If they are in a relationship, it goes great. Oh man, this person was fantastic. And then it fizzles. It's like everything you loved in that person in the beginning, now you can't stand. So the relationship starts off good and then it just crashes and burns. Now, the other one is you get into a relationship, you get married, and then again, maybe it doesn't crash and burn, but the passion's gone. There's a distance between you and that person.
Okay.
It's just not as fun anymore. It's not as passionate anymore. And you start maybe straying or looking around and having second thoughts. The bottom line is, if you ask the majority of people, are they in the romantic relationship that they've always dreamed about? The answer overwhelmingly, 90+% is no. I am not fulfilled in a romantic relationship.
Right.
And they don't understand what is going on or what the problem is. We've isolated the one reason why romantic relationships are bad, why they go bad, or why they don't even happen in the first place. And nobody, now you've heard of John Gray? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Yeah,
Okay? I know John.
Yeah.
John is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
I know John. He's spoken at my events. I've talked to him. We've gone out. He's an excellent, excellent trainer on how to have a good relationship. Years ago, there was a woman named Ellen Kreidman. She was on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Very good friend of mine. She authored a program called Light Her Fire and Light His Fire, which was for relationships.
Okay.
John's book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, obviously relationships.
Yep.
They give great technique on how to meet somebody, how to establish a good relationship, how to nurture that relationship, how to maintain a good relationship, and how to keep the passion in the fire.
Okay.
But they don't address the one issue that is the real root cause of either not having a relationship or having relationships not be as passionate and fulfilling as you want.
Okay, well now I have to know.
Aha. What is? The answer is counter-intention that is in your field. Another way of saying that, because that's kind of a fancy way, is negative programming, self-sabotage. And where is that? It's actually in your DNA, as well as your own mind or energy field. Years ago, when we started talking about that it's in your DNA, scientists said that's crazy, it's not true. Until recently, scientists, we're talking major researchers from around the world, found that trauma in your ancestors that they felt can be found in your DNA. So not only can personality traits, and we know this, are passed down in the DNA. If you take a dog and you say, I want to breed an attack dog, you take a very vicious dog, male, and you breed it with a vicious dog, female, and they have puppies, vicious puppies, that are bred to be attack dogs. The personality trait of the dog is in the DNA. And you can do this with a Labrador. Now you take the same breed, a Labrador, and you take a loving, licking, beautiful little Labrador that just wants to love on you.
Okay.
And you breed it with another loving Labrador, and that's how they breed service dogs. So you have the same breed of dog, a Labrador, and one of them is an attack dog, and one of them is a loving service dog that doesn't even bark. Same breed. It's not in the breed, it's in the DNA of the animal. So if you have in your ancestors a female in your ancestry that got cheated on by the husband, and she made a postulate because she had that trauma, I'm never going to trust a man again. That could be in your DNA, subconsciously acting as a counter intention to your next relationship. So you actually have a subconscious program that you don't even know is there that's running saying, I don't trust men, or vice versa, I don't trust women. Or women are always liars. Let's say your father or your father's father or your father's father's father had a problem with a woman and then had this trauma and said, I'll never trust a woman ever again. Now that's in that man's DNA, and then he has a hard time trusting women. This is now scientifically proven to be true. The DNA actually vibrates. And when it vibrates, it puts out a attractor field. You've heard of the law of attraction? Okay, in the book The Secret, which was popularized when it was on Oprah Winfrey, and many other books, this is when you put out a vibrational frequency, it actually creates in the universe that scenario. Like attracts like. This is why in relationships you seem to attract the same kind of person all the time.
Over and over again.
Over and over. So it's a different person, but it's the same scenario. Because unless you change the frequency that you're broadcasting, you're not going to pick up anything different. If you have a radio and you say, I want to listen to classical music, so let me turn it to 94.5. Well, I'm really sorry, that's the rock and roll station. You're not going to pick up classical music. If you keep dialing in the frequency to 94.5, screaming, thinking, how come I don't have classical music? Because you get the wrong frequency being received. So if you say, how come I'm not attracting this type of person? Because you're broadcasting the wrong frequency.
Right.
You're never going to get that person. You're always going to get, rock and roll. You got to change the vibrational frequency that you put out, both consciously and subconsciously. Otherwise, it's not going to attract the person in your life you want.
Can we go back to the DNA?
Yes.
Because to me, that says if it's in your DNA, you can't do anything about it.
Exactly. Now, let me tell you the good news. Have you ever heard of a word called epigenetics?
No.
No? Okay, good. Very few people have. But it's a very famous word today, actually, in scientific circles. And what it shows is two things. DNA from the inside out makes you have dark hair, blue eyes, et cetera. It's in your DNA. Okay. But epigenetics says an outside influence going into the DNA can change the DNA.
Okay.
So this is the beautiful part. You can release that counterintention. And that's what the relationship processes do. We have found that there are 33 dimensions or frequency levels or broadcast bands, whatever you want to call it. There's 33 different frequencies where there are energetic blocks or counterintentions when it comes to relationships. They're in your DNA, but they're also in your own memories.
Okay.
If you had a trauma with a relationship when you were in high school, that's in your DNA, not in your DNA, it's in your field, and it's vibrating. So we can go in now and activate the vibrational frequencies that are in the DNA and in the field and virtually neutralize them. How? In the same manner that if you take a crystal glass and you put it down and you have an opera singer and say, hit a certain note. And when the opera singer sings that certain note, what happens to the crystal glass? It shatters.
Right.
Why? Because the crystal glass vibrates. It's actually vibrating at a frequency. As a matter of fact, everything in the universe vibrates. That's not mythical or mystical. It's actually science, right?
Okay.
And it's not even quantum physics. It's basic physics. Everything vibrates at certain frequencies. When you match the frequencies, it shatters. So if you have a frequency in your DNA or in your field from some trauma that you don't even know about, you can't even really be aware of, but the processes activate it, match the frequency, and neutralize it, like shatters it like the glass. Now that vibrational frequency is gone and you no longer have that attractive power being broadcast. So now You can broadcast what you want. I want a loving, passionate, honest, secure, happy partner in my life. And when you put out that frequency, you don't have any counter intentions being broadcast simultaneously, which go against and stop that what you want to manifest from manifesting. So you actually can get the relationship that you want. And there are 33 of these, and that's what we deliver in the relationship processes.
I mean, I have to say there's a ton of relationship experts, books, courses out there, but this is kind of unlike anything I've really ever heard.
There's nobody talking about it. And again, John Gray's books, I recommend it.
Yeah.
Hey, read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Read Ellen Kreidman's Light Her Fire and Light His Fire. They give good technique. The problem is if you use these great technique, but you have the counter intentions, you're not going to get great results, which is why 90% of the people that go through these relationship courses that are excellent, and they try to apply the techniques, which are excellent, don't see the results that they want. Because unless you get rid of the counter intention, the broadcast, which is creating what you don't want to happen in a relationship, unless you get rid of that, unless you clear that, nothing is going to work. And I'll give you an example of some results. I've been delivering these now for almost a year. I have a stack about this big at home from, these are, handwritten letters from people that have gone through and emails that have gone through. I feel the direction of my relationship with my wife will and has changed. A destructive cycle has ended for sure after doing the relationship processes. I feel that my ability to understand and empathize has increased. I feel that a significant shift in my system has occurred. I just feel different. I've seen much improvement in my marriage. It's a miracle. So when you get the counter intention cleared, in many cases within hours or days or weeks, things just magically start changing. This has been absolutely spectacular. I was actually able to see so much more into my memories because when we cleared the energy, you can actually remember where the trauma was that you're not aware and conscious of right now. I felt layers shed off my body as you did the processes. Then I walked out feeling lighter with a sense of freedom.
Can you give me an example of like what a process is? Like, let's say you said you had 30, is that what
There's 33, we deliver 30. The last 3 are a little too powerful right now.
Okay.
And a person can get them delivered either, they're on videotape.
Okay, so it's a video.
It's a videotape that they watch. We actually deliver them in person. So if a person wants, they can come to Chicago. And if they buy 10 or more and they come to Chicago, I take them to dinner as well.
Okay.
So everybody that comes to dinner, sometimes there's 10, 15, 20 people. We have a nice meal. I get a chance to meet everyone. Or if they can't come, there are people in India, Australia, that can't come to Chicago. We have facilitators that actually go to them. We have all over the world events going on. And if there's none close to you, we can come directly to you. We actually go to you, get a hotel room, bring you in, you sign a non-disclosure because they're very powerful, effective processes. And then you watch me. I did them live and I recorded them. So you virtually sit there and you get one process that's about 20 minutes. Some of the processes are 10 minutes. Some of them are 45 minutes. And you go through one at a time and take a break after each one. And you virtually sit. And I activate by asking questions, having you do things in your mind, which stimulate and activate in your DNA these frequencies that are acting as counterintentions. And then through matching frequencies being put out, they neutralize. And people feel like weight lifts off their shoulder. And then when they go back, all of a sudden, without doing anything, the person that they thought was the problem changes. And it's like, I didn't do anything. How is it that they changed? Well, actually, they didn't change. You changed. And because you changed, the situation changes. In relationships, it's never about the other person. It's always about you. You can't change the other person.
Because it's like a mirror.
Yeah, they're a mirror. Exactly. Right. As within, so without.
Bringing up all the stuff you haven't dealt with.
Exactly. And whatever you see in another person that's making you mad is really what you see in yourself. So when you clear that out, all of a sudden, what you're broadcasting is changing and that other person changes. I'll give you an example. Process 30. Wow. Toward the end, my actual physical voice deepened. I now speak with more strength, power, and confidence. The type of confidence where love can now flow through me with no restriction. Process 24 was also amazing. My heart chakra expanded, intensified, and felt more warmth. The glowing warmth is more consistent now than ever before. After completing the relationship processes, I feel a sense of awareness and freedom that I've never felt before, truly ineffable. Thank you, Kevin, for delivering the relationship processes. You are a true master. Indeed, I will never be the same. I cannot thank you enough for making all my dreams come true. I met my soulmate after doing the relationship processes. The deep love Kevin has for all of us is priceless. Experiencing the relationship processes is an investment in everyone and beyond words. I did the processes over 3 days. I did 10 processes a day. So I saw the people that were there live. And there were many people I asked before. I said, how many people are here because you want to get into a relationship and it ain't working out? Well, about half the people raised their hands. So I went around and said, there was a couple guys there, a couple ladies there. I said, what's happening? You're not attracting a person? Kevin, I'm on dating apps. I am trying to meet somebody and I just can't even get a date. I don't understand. It's like there's this invisible block. I said, okay, let's see what happens by the end of the week. After the first day, this one particular woman came up and said, I don't understand. And I go, what do you mean? I'm on dating apps. I told you that. And I'm not getting any action. I went home after the processes. I had over 100 emails. It was like my account wasn't actually switched on before.
Right.
And now it's switched on. And I'm flooded with all these men that are interested in me. I don't understand that. I go, we don't have to understand it. It's an energetic thing. It's actually, you had blocks. Mm-hmm. And those blocks were preventing people from seeing you. You know, Harry Potter, you're wearing an invisibility cloak.
Right.
So nobody saw you. But
right.
Now people see you and they're being attracted to you.
It almost sounds to me like what you said. It's like an energy that you're giving out. It's like you have these traumas. You don't know they're there. And it's an energy of, I want to meet someone, but I don't really want to.
That's exactly correct. You have a self-sabotage frequency. And if you're a man and you're trying to meet a woman, the woman says, this guy's desperate.
Yeah.
You know, he has no confidence.
Yeah.
And he repels me. And so they're not interested. Okay. But if that energy of the person changes, and it has nothing to do with looks, it has energy. If the energy of the person changes, now all of a sudden he becomes attractive to women and vice versa. Another one.
Yeah.
Going through the relationship processes was so powerful and transformational. I feel like a new person. What a day. I wish I knew what to tell you. I can tell something is different, but the change is so big, I can't even seem to articulate it. Mm-hmm. My relationship with my wife has gotten better, and I expect that this will continue. I've also noticed that I have become a little more comfortable in social situations after doing the relationship processes, and feel that it's easier to speak my mind more than ever, and people actually hear me. So when the energy changes, everything changes. I get so many letters and comments from people who say, after doing the relationship processes, my communication with my kids is like night and day.
Right.
It's all of a sudden like we're actually communicating, that they actually hear what I'm saying, and I actually hear them. And we're closer than ever before because there's no junk in between you and me. When there's a relationship, whether it's with a family member or a spouse or a lover, one of the things that sets up this distance between the two is called a withhold. And this is you do something or that you know is really counterproductive to the relationship. Mm-hmm. So, but you don't tell the person. And you have a little bit of what's called you're withholding information. Mm-hmm. And that puts a barrier. It's an energetic barrier. And I'll give you a perfect example. A guy goes to lunch and he comes home and he tells his wife, I had lunch with a friend. Oh, where'd you go? I went to, Carlos's place. It was really good. A good restaurant. Oh, what'd you have? Had this and that. Yeah, okay, good. So he's being honest. He went to this place. He went to this restaurant with a friend. What he doesn't say is that friend was an ex-wife.
That's a big omission.
Right. So he didn't tell a lie. He told the truth, but he wasn't being honest.
Right.
There's a difference between truth and honesty. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it puts up an energetic block. Yeah. It's a barrier. And it makes distance between the two.
Right.
Over time, those things build up and 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 build up. And so now between you and the person that you want to be in a relationship or are in a relationship,
Yeah, you're so far apart.
there's all this junk in between. And now you think, why am I having a problem? So no one talks about how to get rid of that. And that's what the relationship processes do. That's also counter-intention. That's also preventing the relationship from flourishing, which is why so many people say, Kevin, I went through John Gray's book and it was fantastic. And it is, and I recommend it. I went through other relationship books and they're great, and they are. But it's still, I'm happy because you're not getting rid of the junk.
Right.
Unless you clear this out, nothing's going to happen. So when they go through my relationship processes, I had one guy say, well, actually I had a woman say, I'm just befuddled. I said, what's the problem? It's just not a problem. I went through the relationship process. My husband didn't.
I was going to ask that.
He said, I went home
Yeah.
and he grabbed me, ran me into the bedroom, and we had the most passionate sex I had in 5 years. What happened? He didn't do the relationship processes. I said, but your energy changed.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask, do both parties have to do the process?
It's certainly better, but it doesn't. And she continued to write me, and it was a little bit X-rated and graphic, but she was so thrilled because she goes, I enjoy sex. I love sex. And I was so sad that what we had was gone for so long and it's back. Yeah. And she goes, I can't thank you enough because that is such an important aspect of my life. And it was gone. And now it's back with the man I love, with my husband. And we laugh, we go out, we have fun. It's like we're newlyweds again. And she says, I can never thank you enough because it made such a big difference. I'll give you another one. After day 2 of the relationship processes, I felt lighter, more centered, and more focused. I felt like I had become more of myself. I understood what it truly took to have the broadcasting power to create whatever I want in my life, including the relationship of my dreams. I was forever changed for the better after day 1 of the relationship processes. The results are already amazing. I can't tell you how good they are. She didn't give me the X-rated version. Many changes took place. Even today, I feel different, calmer, more at peace, and extremely tired. I no longer feel capable of overdoing things and being fearless. During the process, I felt my energy awaken and come alive throughout my body, from my feet to my head, passing through all the chakras. The effect was truly mind-blowing on relationship process number 4 in particular, which you handled the root chakra, sexual energy and creation. It was as if I've been awakened from a deep sleep and can now fully experience a fulfilling relationship filled with love, compassion, and sex. Wow, the relationship process was a dream come true. The first 3 relationship processes felt like more energy and more density transmuted than anything I've ever done in my life. I could also see many deep pains that left my field. They were talking about emotional pains. Mm-hmm. Right when I got back from doing the processes, I got a marriage proposal. Ha ha ha. From a multimillionaire. When I returned back to my children, my daughter was transformed. She always had this resistance or resentment toward me, a sense of rage for abandoning her. I had never seen her so happy and joyful. It was like my karma transmuted, and it transmuted hers. She used to say that she loves me, or she loves herself 0 out of 10. But now she was expressing her level of self-love was 10 out of 10 and beyond. She's 7 years old. If this was the only thing I got from the relationship processes, it would be all worth it. I cried with joy.
So her energy changed her younger daughter.
Exactly. Because it's never about the other person. Mm-hmm. It's always about you. When you point your finger at somebody, there's 3 fingers pointed directly at you. Mm-hmm. As within, so without. Mm-hmm. The world is a reflection of what's going on inside you.
Right.
If you are dealing with jerks, someone said, I always meet a jerk. Well, maybe you're the jerk.
Right.
Think about it. Mm-hmm. Why is it that you're always attracting and meeting narcissists and jerks and assholes and this and that? Maybe it's you.
Right.
And it is. Not maybe. It is you. You change yourself. Somebody told me one time, it says, well, what would you do if you had a roommate that was a slob and so forth and so on. And I said, I wouldn't have that roommate.
Right.
I wouldn't be in that situation because the people that I associate with are happy and wonderful and honest and loving and kind and sweet and communicate. And they don't have buttons that get triggered. They don't snap, run off the handle. That's impossible. And I go, no, because I'm not attracting that into my life.
Right.
Because the field is clear. When you get the field clear and you clear out from the DNA these counter intentions, the people that are going to be attracted to you and that you're going to attract and pull into your life are going to be those type of people. And the person who treats you like terrible treats me wonderful because they're treating you because of your energy that way. And they're treating me because of my energy a completely different way. So you have to always work on yourself. And that's why the relationship processes are just so uniquely powerful.
So I have to ask, everyone talks about the soulmate.
Yeah.
So where does that leave that?
Well,
is there such a thing?
All I can say is if you think there's only one person on the planet that you're meant to be with, that's kind of a stretch. You know, is there any planets in the universe that maybe have the conditions for life? No, it's only Earth. Okay, I think that's kind of a stretch. Just the odds say yes. So if you look energetically, is there just one person that can make you happy and blissful, where you're giddy every day thinking, I'm the luckiest person in the world to be in a relationship with this other human being? No, there's probably not one. So I think a better explanation is, are there lots of people that you could connect with, that you would have a glorious, fulfilling, romantic relationship with great communication, safety and security, great passionate sex, fun? Yes, there's more than one. There's lots of people out there on planet Earth. There's not just one. If you have any sense of belief in karma or past lives, there are a lot of people out there that you connect with for various karmic reasons as well. But you don't have to believe any of that stuff. All you have to know is, I want a relationship, but I'm not in one. And the reason is you have counter intentions that are repelling people from you. And unless you clear those out, it's never going to change.
Right.
And if you are in a relationship and it's not to the level that you want of passion, fun, fulfillment, unless you clear out the junk that's between you and that person, and unless you clear out the counter intentions, it's never going to get any better. You have to do that. This is the one thing that nobody understands or knows. And when you do it, it makes all the difference. I'll just read one more of these. I have recently completed all the steps you listed to help me get into a loving relationship. When a person gets the money processes, the first thing we do is I send them via email what's called prerequisite training, which is technique-based and things that they can do before they actually do the money processes. It's thousands of dollars worth of training that's free, and I send it to them, including ways to improve their self-image, which is a series of processes which dramatically change the way you see yourself. From the relationship processes introductory Zoom, I got all the material, and all I can say is, wow. I have to say, it works. At the time of this writing, I can already feel the difference in the way women, he uses the word girls, the way he's a young guy, the way girls see me. In fact, I've gotten more dates in the last 3 weeks than I have in the previous 3 years.
Wow.
There was a guy in the Cayman Islands who he's a handsome guy, very successful guy, really articulate. And I said, who you dating? He goes, nobody. I go, why? You're a successful guy. You're in great shape. You're handsome. You got money. You got it all going for you. You're young. He goes, I don't know. I said, you need the relationship processes. He goes, okay. And he went through the relationship. I got it on my phone on the Telegram. He sends me telegrams with him with Miss Italy. Him with this model. Him with this, and he was like, they're coming. They're approaching me.
Right.
Since the relationship processes. This is the greatest thing in the world. He said, but now my priorities have all changed. And I go, what? Men? And he says, no, I want a serious relationship. He goes, I thought I wanted this. No, I don't want this. he goes, and now I'm looking for not just dating a lot of different gals, but actually getting into a real connected, fulfilling relationship that you can build a life together. And he goes, I feel so much more mature. And it was because of the counter intentions that he actually thought he wanted this. In fact, he wanted something else.
So what do you think the real point of a relationship is?
Well, it's different for everyone. And it's not what I think. It's different for everyone. There's not one size that fits all.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at two people, a man and a woman, we'll use that example. And I know there's women, and men, and they've gone through the relationship processes as well. But let's look at a man and a woman. One reason, and throughout history, what was the reason why people got married? To have children.
Right.
That was the only reason.
Right.
Okay, we're going to get married so we can have kids, and you had kids immediately. That's why you had a honeymoon, because it was a period of time where the woman would be ovulating and you're having sex every day, and so this is your opportunity to get pregnant. And that was the objective of the honeymoon, to get pregnant, to have kids and procreate and increase the family and so forth. So that was the number one reason. And that's why getting a woman and a man together via an arranged marriage based on the families, because they were bringing families together as well, that was another reason. Well, that's not really the reason today, although some people do get married because they want to have children, but not as the reason why to have children. Unfortunately, what most people look for when they get into a relationship is to fill something that's missing in their life. They think the other person is going to complete them. Remember in that movie, there was some movie where the woman or the guy says, you complete me. Okay, well, let me tell you something. If you feel that way, you need this more than anyone.
Right.
Because you shouldn't be half a person
Right.
needing someone else
Right.
so that together you have a whole. Right. You should be a whole person, and they should be a whole person. And together you make a third person called us.
Right.
But you are you, I am me, I don't need you, you don't need me, we're whole.
Right.
But together we have a new entity that we create called us.
Right.
And that's why when you're in a relationship, if you use the word, I love us, it's a new entity that you've created, that's separate from you. The us is different than you. So that's very critical. Unless you're whole, you are never going to have a fulfilling relationship, because you're going to be in it's called forever the codependent relationship,
Right.
where you're dependent on them, they're dependent on you, and if they leave, it's always causing stress and tension and fear.
Yeah.
And it's never going to be fulfilling. The relationship then isn't going to give you advantages and fulfillment. It's actually going to deplete your energy and increase fear and instability and insecurity instead of increasing security and stability.
Okay, let's say I did the relationship processes. Like, what would that experience be? Take me through what that would be like.
Well, when a person goes through, and I know we have a QR code up, people can click on that and get more information about the processes. Again, we deliver them. We come to you, or you come to Chicago. And if you get 10 or more and come to Chicago, I take the people to dinner as well. They get a chance to meet me. But when you go through it, it's different for every single person. But you're married, you have children, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I can tell you what the result is going to be. You go through even just one, you will feel different about yourself. That's the first thing. And you will feel different about yourself in terms of how you relate to other people.
Okay.
You will see other people and the relationships you have with your spouse and your kids and your family and your coworkers. You'll see them different. It's like you have different glasses on. You see it clearer. There's a greater sense of certainty. There's a greater sense of compassion and understanding for the other person, where you say, they have a right to be happy. And rather than needing something for them or blaming them, you make me feel so terrible. No, they didn't do anything. You feel bad. You have to acknowledge that. You can't invalidate it.
Right.
But if we're having a conversation, I wouldn't say, you get me so mad. No, I'd say, I'm feeling angry. Okay, that's true. I'm not angry. I am not angry. I am Kevin. I am feeling angry.
Right.
There's a difference.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm not angry. I'm Kevin. So you start seeing this in a completely different way. And because your energy changes, the people that you deal with, whether it's in work or business or romantic or your kids, all of a sudden you'll just notice they've changed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, you've changed.
Okay.
And the way you interact is different. The way you feel is different. But people always tell me, my kids are nicer to me. No, they were always nice. Your energy was making them appear really bad. And they couldn't be nice. They were always nice. They just couldn't be because of your energy. Your energy was like, when they came into your field, it was almost like you took your fingernails and went down a blackboard.
Right.
It just drove them crazy. So generally, relationships improve dramatically.
I mean, you've totally opened up my mind to a totally new perspective on relationships, something I haven't heard before. So I want to appreciate your time today and all of this information.
It is new, it is revolutionary, it is a breakthrough, and there's nothing out there anywhere in the world that discusses this. But it is the critical element that will improve your relationship if you're in one, or have you get into a really good relationship if you're not. And I know we have a QR code that's on the screen. I think there's probably some links there as well. People can click on that. They can get more information. They can check it all out. We even have a phone number that if they go and they read about it and they have some questions, they can call our office. A real person answers who speaks perfect English, and we answer all their questions, and we can get them more information about the relationship process.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I'm Christina Dehart, and we'll see you next time.